Hello. Welcome back to the channel, and this is a channel where we give you reviews. Don't do unboxings, but we might do a few playthroughs next year if you behave yourselves. But today we're going to be continuing our countdown of our top 100 board games of all time. This is part 3 of 10. So this is number 80 down to 71. So this is still in the dog shit ended part of the stick territory. Sort of games that are akin to somebody saying that their milk is off and asking you to taste it, yeah? But they're still all a bunch of banging games, yeah? So remember, if your top 100 games aren't on this list, then that's because A, we haven't played them, or B, we think they're complete and utter dog shit. So remember, if you're new here, consider subscribing to this channel with the like button and all that YouTube bullshit. See you after this.
Bollocks. Bollocks.
So number 80 on this list is a party style game, which is sometimes described as the best shouting game in the known universe. This game is Panic on Wall Street. I think this game has just got a reprint. I remember saying last year and the year before that this game would never be reprinted because there was a spat between the designer and the publisher, right? I think it's just got a reprint. I'm not sure if it uses the Wall Street theme in. But in this game, half of you is going to be a bunch of merchant bankers. The other half of you is going to be investors. The bankers will be trying to sell shit to the investors, and the investors will be trying to buy stuff from the bankers at the cheapest rate possible, right? So you're going to have this big crazy frenzy where you're going to be shouting back and forth, trying to buy, sell, and then at the end of the round, the value of the stock will go up based on how risky they are. You'll do this by rolling a dice. The red stock will be more volatile than the other stock, right? You really want to play it with the maximum player count of like 10, 11, 12 people because it is stunning. You will end up sounding like fucking Barry White. At the end of it, you'll have a gravel voice because you'll be shouting so much. And it is one of the best party games that you can get today or in the future or whenever it's going to be reprinted.
Bollocks.
79 is a game that has crept back into our top 100 after a probably decade-long hiatus. This game is Battlestar Galactica, the board game, yeah? We did flog our original version of this because it was just too long and too drawn out and too problematic, but then I found a Spanish copy on Amazon. I translated the thing myself, and then some guy from Brighton offered to send me the original game, so I couldn't turn that down, yeah? Battlestar Galactica sees you taking on the role of one of the characters from the rebooted TV show. It may or may not be the case that one of you is a Cylon. Well, actually, one of you, or maybe more than one of you, is going to be a Cylon, but you don't know who it is. You'll be taking actions, you'll be sending people to the brig, you'll be trying to repel Cylon invaders, and eventually the treacherous bastard will reveal themselves and you will have to manage your resources and hope to jump to New Caprica before you get fucked up. Battlestar Galactica, okay, it is long, it's 4 hours plus, yeah. I know there's going to be people out there saying it's not that long, but I don't care what you fucking think, fuck off. But I've sort of taken more of an interest in these hidden tracker games. I did get sort of saturated with them, and I went back and I looked at the original hidden tracker games like this and Shadows over Camelot, and I thought, yes, this is where it's at. I'm going to have my own private disco, well, with 4 or 5 players, yeah.
Bollocks.
78 on this list is a game by an unsung designer hero of mine, Peter Hawes. It's a game called Royals. In this game, you'll just be chucking cubes onto a location on a map. You'll be trying to get an area majority that will gain you the favour of a courtly personality, give you points that will let you win the game. This game is so simple, yeah, it defies belief. It's almost as if Peter Hawes has uncovered the simplest equation to how the brain interprets fun, yeah, albeit by using some stuffy old cubes that have been pulled out from under someone's foreskin. Yeah, not literally, all right? I mean, Peter Hawes designed another game called Francis Drake, which also was pretty good. And Royals is a great example of simplicity of design, efficiency of design, and it's just a superb cube push-in area majorities cutthroat game, yeah.
Bollocks.
77 on this list is a push your luck dice game, yeah? It's a 4X game that relies on a lot of random die rolls, and ordinarily I can't stand random die rolls, yeah? I like a little bit of mitigation, but this is Xia, Legends of a Drift system. In this game, you'll be taking on the role of maybe like a intergalactic copper or a smuggler, and you'll be doing whatever the fuck you really want. It's called a sandbox game, but it's not really a sandbox game. You'll be using these Tetramino style tiles to power your ship, and that will give you the ability to take various actions like discovering new tiles, pick up and delivering goods, or just blowing the fucking living shit out of your opponents, right? There was an absolutely stunning expansion called Embers of a Forsaken Star. If you've got Xyro Legends of a Drift system and you ain't owned that expansion, then you're a fucking fucktard. Sometimes you roll a d20 in this game and it's going to put a cucumber up your bum, which isn't always welcome depending on what day it is and what time it is actually. But who cares, because Xyro Legends of a Drift system is a fantastic sandy boxy type randomized game where anything could happen, and it usually does, apart from me being circumcised with the key to my shed. 75 on this list is a game that we recently discovered, and it's a mass market game of all things. It's Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the board game. This isn't any of those shitty ones that you pick up from Argos or a bargain bin in TK Maxx. This is the Craig Van Ness, Rob Davio of C4 fame version, yeah? In this game, one of you is going to be taking on the role of a villain from the rebooted Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV show. So, like, you're going to take on the role of the Master, and then everyone else is going to be running around Sunnyvale, whatever it's called, trying to rid Sunnyvale of evil forces, right? It's a fantastic one versus all game. Okay, it's like 25 years old now, yeah? But I don't know. There's something about this game that lifts it above all of those other mass market tie-ins, yeah? And I suppose it could do with a reprint. I know Buffy the Vampire Slayer has sort of fallen by the wayside. No one gives a fuck about it anymore. But if you can find this in a charity shop or a bargain bin, yeah, then you can have a good time with it, yeah? I know it's sad and that makes me look like one of them aging old farts. But I am. So fuck off.
Bollocks.
So, did I say 75? This is 75. This is Exodus Proxima Centauri, yeah? This is sometimes regarded as a Twilight Imperium experience you can play in 2 hours. That is complete and utter bullshit. A, it's nothing like Twilight Imperium, and B, you can't play this in 2 hours yet. It's a 3 to 4 hour game if you are lucky. This is another 4X game you will be expanding, exploring, exterminating, and putting on a pair of galactic pink speedos. The thing that makes this game fantastic is the technologies. Yeah, you'll be able to invest your resources in building up your ships, and all of the resources apply to every ship that you have got, yeah, not just one. The first expansion for this adds asymmetrical factions, which is a massive bonus, and this is generally all round a good egg when it comes to 4X intergalactic gameplay, yeah. Don't really hear much about this anymore. I don't know why. It's just disappeared off the face of the earth. But again, if you can pick this up on the second-hand market and you can play it with its full player count of 6, then you're going to have a fucking good time, yeah? Because I did.
Bollocks.
Number 74 on this list is a game that is another kind of stuffy Euro, yeah. It's a game called Russian Railroads, yeah. And I suppose, again, you don't hear much about this either, yeah. Re-released in a sort of big box version. This game, you have these little tiny train things. You'll be moving them up tracks. No fucking shit, right? Newer trains that you build are going to cover greater distances because they're obviously more efficient technologically, right? You're going to have spaces to build factories, and you'll also be able to ask in-game characters for assistance in unzipping your fly. Because who likes to be caught by the fuzz, right? Russian Railroads, okay, it's another one of them stuffy Euros that not everybody sort of likes these days. They're sort of fallen out of favour, yeah. But this is an absolute fucking banger. And I'm surprised that you don't really hear people talking about it anymore. I suppose we've just moved on from that era of German Euro games in favour of these sort of, I don't know, flashy miniature games. But yeah, if you are in love with Euros like I am, then Russian Railroads is one of the best that you can get, but not the best. Don't forget that.
Bollocks.
So, number 73 on this list is a game called Clans of Caledonia. We recently reviewed the Industria expansion, yeah, right. But the original core game is still an absolute blast. You'll be taking on the role of a Scottish clan. You'll be putting out different factories to produce goods. You'll be slaughtering cows and sheep. Sorry, vegans. You'll be trying to generate money to fulfill contracts that are going to give you the bulk of victory points that you need, right? This is one of them games that's like a hybrid game. It borrows a lot of mechanics from other games. You see elements of Catan in here, a lot of Stefan Feld shit going on, and it's almost as if it just blends it all into one big massive fucking dough pile and then lets you gorge on all of your favourite mechanics at once, yeah. Like I said, the expansion probably isn't necessary, but the core game scratches an itch that many other games do, and you can just do it all at once.
Bollocks.
So number 72 is another racing game that borrows its mechanics heavily from another game that was on this list previously, a game called Flamme Rouge. This is a game called Heat Pedal to the Metal, and I think it was designed by the same geezers, yeah? In Heat Pedal to the Metal, you're going to be trying to drive a racing car around a track using cards, yeah? The thing is that the harder you push your motor, the hotter it is going to get. You'll end up with heat cards in your hand. You have to recycle through the deck. That will also allow your car to go faster, yeah? So you need them, but you don't need them at the same time, yeah? One of the things that we loved about Heat was that it came with loads of add-ons in the box, loads of different modifications for your cars, loads of different ways to play the game, and like a sort of a 3-season championship. And some of the expansions were absolutely fantastic as well. They added a 7th and 8th player, they added tunnels to the mix, they added rainfall and weather conditions. It's a superb racing game, yeah? So if you haven't played Heat Pedal to the Metal, go and have a look what all the fuss was about a couple of years ago, because it's one of them rare occasions where the hype is real.
Bollocks.
Number 71 on this list is one of the greatest 3-player games ever designed. It's a game called Maria. This borrows heavily from its predecessor, a game called Friedrich. In this game, you will be taking on the role of a faction, whether it would be Prussia, France, and you will be allied with another player. But at the same time, Prussia will have this sort of schizophrenic attribute, which means it's going to have to rely and also betray its ally, right? This is a little bit more complicated than Friedrich. It adds a political phase where you can move these markers up tracks for different benefits, and there's events that will come out that sort of mirror the actual real events of the war. I can't remember what war it was. Is it the War of Succession or something? If you are struggling for a 3-player game and you don't mind trawling through a relatively heavy rulebook, then Maria is possibly the greatest 3-player war game ever made. I know some people are going to say that Churchill or one of them games is better, but I ain't played it, so you can kiss my ass. So there you go. That concludes the third brain-draining installment of our top 100 board games of all time. That was numbers 80 down to 71. If you are still alive by the time the next video drops, pop by for some more inane bullshit. Obviously, my opinion means absolutely fuck all, and you're free to tear my thoughts apart in the comments below. But don't drink any strychnine, do not eat any out-of-date mushrooms, and don't walk into the path of an oncoming bus. So remember, if you're new here, please consider subscribing to this channel. If you are not new here, go and fly a kite in a thunderstorm and see what happens. Subscribe, hit the like button, and all that YouTube bullshit. We'll see you next time.